All right, I'm here at C2E2 2018, sitting here with comic writer Gerry Duggan. Gerry, could you give us a little brief introduction to yourself and why you're here?
I write comics. I was invited. I can only go where I'm invited. I'm a comic book Dracula.
Yeah, you can't get into places.
No. I go where I'm invited. I've never been to Chicago. I love this show. Instantly one of my favorite comic book shows. I had 5 years backlog of Deadpool to sign, so I've been pretty busy. And then this week we debuted Analog over at Image Comics. David O'Sullivan and I have been working on it for a long time. So this was the debut party for our first issue, and I've been very thrilled with the response.
And could you tell us a little bit about what Analog is about?
Sure. It's a comic book that imagines life on planet Earth after a mass doxing. So the cloud in which all of our secrets are stored comes crashing down to Earth, and what we're primarily interested in exploring is what happens to secrets and how you move them around. And so we imagined that armed couriers called ledgermen pop up on the scene, and for a price they'll move your secret on paper from point A to point B. So it's been fun to write a spy noir story with some cyberpunk thrown in there. Anytime you're writing a story and you can get rid of your cell phone, you've done your story a good bit of business. And so it's 2024 in our story. We flash back, we start to see that maybe our lead character, Jack McGinnis, who's a ledger man, may have had something to do with the doxing. And it felt a little bit more left field in 2015 when we started it, but now that the Cambridge Analytica story is starting to break, it's starting to feel a little bit more of the moment than I would have wished. But here we are.
Yeah, almost like a Black Mirror type scenario.
Exactly.
So can we expect for this comic to be dealing with mature themes? I know a lot of Image comics have a lot of mature themes, at least compared to your previous work with Marvel.
It's true, although I feel like we got away with murder for a lot of it over at Marvel. You know, we were rated T for teen, but it always felt M for mature,
yeah,
hopefully.
It was always walking a thin line between those.
But look, the cool thing about Image is that you really can just do what you want, and this story is a story that I had to tell. This is something that David fell in love with. It's an adventure story. It has some romance in it. Jack's partner Una will reveal that the doxing actually freed her. She was being trafficked, and so when the cloud came crashing down, it was a good thing for her, even though it was a miserable thing. I'm in the middle of an interview.
Sorry.
Not everyone at Chicago is so chill.
What can you do?
Was I too much of a dick?
No, I think you're good. I mean,
all right.
I see you saw the camera.
Anytime you can make the crew laugh, you're doing something right. No, look, Analog is going to be a story it's a personal story. It's driven by characters. Jack McGinnis is one of our leads. His sniper partner, on again, off again, romantic interest is Una. She's that may not even be her real name. We'll come to see someday. And this is a character-driven story about our near future that unfortunately is already aging like a fine wine. I hope people like it, but to be perfectly honest, I don't give it because I love it. And so, and by the way, that's true of everything I've ever done, including Deadpool. I was never trying to pick something to write about that I thought would be popular in an assignment. I was only trying to help create something, to collaborate on something that I myself would be thrilled to plunk down money to own and either laugh or cry, or hopefully laugh and cry in the same book.
And Analog is being drawn by David
O'Sullivan, which sounds like he's on the lam and it's a made-up Irish name. He's actually named David O'Sullivan. He's a real human being. I've spoken with him. I've Skyped with him. He's an incredibly talented artist, and when you enjoy that first issue, you will wonder how he has not been published before. I'm thrilled to be able to collaborate and create this book with him now before somebody else snatches him up and takes him away from me. Stay away, Robert.
So yeah, with this being a creator-owned comic, how important was it that you specifically handpicked David for doing the art for this?
I mean, when I was Declan Shalvey introduced me to David, and had said, I know you were talking about a couple of creator-owned ideas. Take a look at David's work. Is there something here that you think you can work with? And I was like, yes, he's absolutely a professional artist. But it really wasn't until I spoke to David and we chatted that Analog came into focus, because his style could have lent itself to another one of my ideas, and that one would have been first. I have, I think, 4 different Image comics in development, and more that are sort of looking for partners. This is a comic book I have called Dead Rabbit. It comes out in September. John McCrae is the artist. It's the most John McCrae that John McCrae has ever John McCrae'd. It's wonderful. We printed up an ash can here for the show, a full-color ash can for the retailers, and I was able to give some away to the fans. We hope that you'll like that. We're trying to give retailers the hook of, if you like funny up crime stuff and you like Deadpool and Hitman, you have a chance to like this. It's a different sort of thing. It's about a stick-up man that got out of the business out of love and is now returning to that same business out of love. So,
and is this kind of taking place? I know it's called Dead Rabbit. Is it kind of taking place in the Gangs of New York era, kind of 1910s, around the turn of the century?
It's present day, but our character has concocted a story that he's descended from one of the original Dead Rabbits, which is just some scary to say to somebody to get out of a fight.
All right, well, thank you very much for your time here. It's been great talking with you.
The pleasure's mine. I hope you guys check out Analog now from Image and Dead Rabbit, and thank you for all the support over the years at Marvel too, so I appreciate it.
All right, thanks very much.